For some students across Tennessee, lunch shaming is what stands between them and their only meal of the day. A meal debt is not a child's fault. Nothing in this bill prohibits a school from collecting a meal debt from a parent or guardian. Food for students is a must. It is a need.
We need to get this bill passed. It is definitely not the child's fault. We're the wealthiest country on this earth.
I've asked about this specifically in my district. We do waste a lot of food. I wouldn't eat it personally. If a kid is hungry and wants to go through another time, there's plenty of that federal food for them to eat. Obviously, we're going to have bullying. We're going to have that. Where is the teeth in this? How would you prevent this? Please help me try to understand not the importance, but what you want to achieve.
I want to stop children from being stigmatized, ostracized, belittled, or otherwise punished for something that's not their fault. Lunch shaming exists when there are meal debts. What we're trying to accomplish here is protecting the child, as well as not costing the state of Tennessee a dime.
Are you saying that there's teachers that are doing this? Who is actually doing the shaming?
You have a meal debt, you can't have this food. They take the tray, they stack it as the gentleman referenced, or they pour it out. They give them an alternative meal like a bologna sandwich, and they make them go eat by themselves in the principal's office.
Well, now, shame on that teacher or that
absolutely.
person.
Shame on them. Shame on anybody who would do it.
Why would we need law to try and understand?
Because it's happening. Just because the schools that you have visited doesn't mean it's not happening. Why wouldn't we be proactive and prevent it from ever happening at no cost?
How would you enforce this?
We prohibit it by state law, and we codify this.
I appreciate you for bringing some awareness to this, and for that, I will be supporting your bill.
I am unaware of any of this happening in my district. What teeth do we have to these parents to get them to pay the debt?
This bill in no way prevents a school from collecting the meal debt. It prevents schools from using children as leverage. It is not their fault.
Preventing children from being embarrassed. That's all his bill is speaking to. I really hope that we all support this legislation.
We should be giving these kids food anyway. How about we rework this illustrious BEP formula and include lunches in that?
To say that anyone is shaming them, I think it kind of puts a bad light on our schools. Are you running this for political reasons with a name like that? Because I've got people back home saying, Representative White voted against this. He doesn't care about children. And that's just really irritating. Why couldn't the bill be called the Responsible Lunch Payment Act for Children? Because we'll all go along with that.
Last year, it was the Tennessee Hunger-Free Students Act, and you didn't like that, so I changed it. And 11 other states have passed similar legislation, and they all reference it as lunch shaming. Name it whatever you want. My concern is protecting these children. That's it.
I'm going to vote for your bill. It's a good bill for children. You keep using the term protecting children. Protecting them from what? The schools? Their own parents' negligence of not giving them money? It has a lot of problems to me. Legislation will not fix it. If it would fix it, legislation for drugs being against the law, we wouldn't have a drug problem.
I'm really struggling with this. When are we going to start teaching personal responsibility of the parents? And when are we going to start teaching that, hey, there are consequences and repercussions to every action? Without any teeth in this, there's no incentive for these parents to pay their bill.
In this amendment, so the teeth is they can be referred for investigation for child abuse or neglect.
This gives me some direction on what the enforcement is going to be. Someone has to be accountable. And by not having accountability, we continue to teach our children not to have responsibility. As the scriptures say, we're always going to have poor. But by constantly having a free ticket to not be responsible is not teaching responsibility. I do have a heart, and I do believe that it is wrong to bully children. But I grew up as a child once upon a time, and I had boys throw worms at me on the school bus. We're going to have hunger. We're going to have need. We're going to have bullying. We're going to have things happen because we live in a fallen world. But thank God there are good people in the state of Tennessee and all across this good country who see the needs. Therefore, we meet those needs.
My bill simply protects the students from being used as leverage to collect that debt. Not paying a meal debt does not qualify as child abuse or neglect. I take issue with referring parents or guardians to DCS because they're poor, because they haven't gotten their paycheck yet, or because they're under a pile of medical bills that they can't pay.
Issue here is establishing accountability for the parents of these students. This was not intended as a hostile amendment, by the way.
They're not prevented from going after that debt. They just can't hold the child as leverage.
I think your amendment is a bit harsh to me. Get DCS involved and because parents didn't pay school debt. I would say 99.99% of the time, the school systems comply without a criminal element being involved in it.
Makes this bill as amended distasteful, unbefitting this body. I'm fine with allowing the bill to move forward and hopefully amending it at the full committee.
Passes with 5 yeses.